Have you ever been in one of those forced bonding activities? You know the ones I'm talking about, where like they put your group into a circle and you've got a beach ball and you throw the beach ball around the circle, and if your thumb lands on a particular spot, you have to share a certain something about yourself. Let's be honest, those types of activities can feel kind of cringe, am I right? And here's the deal. When it comes to team bonding, certain activities are super, super helpful. And the difficult reality is that if you have a virtual team, the activities that you can do that truly do bring the team closer together are kind of few and far between, and some of them honestly can have more of a cringe factor than others, right? But here's the thing. Team bonding really can get a bad rep, and it can feel super try hard, super forced, and people just like to rebel against it. But the reality is that bonding and forming those deep personal relationships with members of your team are actually very critical to create a successful team. What do we know? Any high-performing team cannot exist without trust, and trust comes with developing those personal relationships, right? So at the end of the day, team building really can help boost your team's morale. It helps combat against the loneliness, which in turn will help increase productivity and motivation, all right? So, with that being said, you've guessed it. Today I want to dive into some of my favorite team bonding activities that I would say are a little lower on the cringe factor, but definitely work in a highly virtual environment. So if you are ready for this, go ahead and get cozy, get relaxed, get your notebook out to write some of these down because we are about to dive in.
Hi there. Thanks for tuning in to Tide Pod, a podcast crafted by Tiana Tai to help you purify your purpose in business, love, and life. Whether you're an entrepreneur, dog mom, or just getting started, you're bound to find value as Tiana dives into meaningful topics each episode. So, settle in, turn up the volume, and welcome your host, Tiana Tai.
I have to take a moment to thank the sponsor of today's episode, Primally Pure. Y'all, I'm not going to get too deep into this, but I've tried a lot of natural deodorants, and my husband disapproves of 99.9% of them. But not my new Primally Pure Charcoal Deodorant. I have been so excited to share this with you because I have been testing it myself for 3 full months before I decided that it was worth sharing. This is absolutely my hands down favorite natural deodorant, and I've tried at least 5 or 6 brands by now. And even better, it can be your new favorite too. You can get your next order for 10% off by using the code TIANA10. That's right, TIANNA10, and you're on your way to your new favorite deodorant. And hopefully your significant other will approve of this one. Okay, so this may sound a little bit funny, but I was watching an old rerun of that MTV show, Are You the One, the other day, right? And this woman was paired with this guy that she absolutely could not stand. And it was super interesting because once she kind of got the inkling that he actually could be her match, she, took the time to actually get to know him. And then you see her talking behind the scenes to the camera like, okay, I hated him, but in retrospect, I didn't actually know him. And now that I know him, it's honestly a lot harder to hate him. And I think that's just one of the most perfect examples of what it is to be a human, what it is to have or not have connections with other people, right? It's so much easier to give our team members the side eye, to assume their intent, to just get super annoyed by people when we don't actually know them on a deep enough level to understand where they're coming from. So with that being said, that is one of the reasons why I love conversations like this. I love to talk about how do we bring things into the workplace, especially when we're virtual, to really help our teams bond more. Because look, If we want to give each other less of the side eye, we have to get to know each other at a much deeper level. So without further ado, I was thinking today I could share some of my favorite virtual team bonding activities, and not just share, a laundry list of activities, but actually give you some behind the scenes tips and sneak peeks into what I like and what I don't like about them, and also give you an idea about how long they take and how often I suggest doing them as a team. So if you are down for it, look, I've got you, because I recognize your schedule is tight, but these activities, they're going to be anywhere from, you can do them once a week, 10 minutes a pop, to this is something you can really only do like once a year. That way, there will never be a dull moment, okay? So if you're ready, let's get into it. All right. Let's start with those weekly activities. So these are the things that you can do like during your weekly meeting with the whole team, right? My favorite, it's super easy. You may roll your eyes, but it is one of those freaking icebreakers, my friend. Yes, we have all participated in an icebreaker at one point in time. And really the goal of this is not to be like super formal with it, because obviously it's kind of silly. But it's to really energize team members and transform something that could kind of be like a dull meeting into something that's a little bit more interesting, right? So there are tons and tons of options, and people who have been around for a bit know that one of my personal favorites is Two Truths and a Lie. This is the literal icebreaker that we like to do in my team. We get a kick out of it, and we choose like very outlandish things to try to like hide the lie. And we do these, a lot of times we did them in the orientation. We typically did them a little bit more heavily when we were first getting to know each other, right? Because there's just so much fun stuff to uncover and learn about one another. Another example of an icebreaker that could take like 10, 15 minutes top for your group could be a quirky photo challenge where everybody submits a funny photo, and then, the team leader can display them via Zoom or whatever your video conferencing platform is, or a this or that quiz. So you could, again, if it's Zoom or if it's Google Meet or whatever, you could pop up some options. So grilled cheese or PB&J, simple things like that, where you can just start to learn little fun, quirky facts about one another. Again, this is not meant to be something super serious. It's literally what it is. It's just supposed to be a speedy way that can, one, warm up the meeting, but two, give you guys a little sneak peek into some things about one another that you may not have learned otherwise. And added bonus is, a lot of times, at least for my team and the teams that I work with, we choose things that try to get us laughing, get us talking, get us sharing stories, and that helps you be more engaged in your meeting after participating in the icebreaker. Who isn't a little bit more excited to get to work after you were able to share a belly laugh with your team? Am I right? All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the second. These activities, I think about them as like bi-weekly, so maybe twice a month tops sorts of things that you can do. Super easy examples, doing a virtual lunch, a coffee break, or a happy hour, right? And this can range between 30 minutes is usually the fun spot, but you could go up to 60 minutes if you guys are really getting into it. But here's the reality. Most of us, we're not androids. We need to take food and drink breaks throughout the day. So why not, twice a month, go ahead and schedule everybody to take their lunch at the same time. Hop on your video conference platform and get it going, okay? So there literally is no agenda for these. And let me make that 115% clear. There is no agenda. You want to go, on this virtual lunch or coffee break with the sole purpose of just catching up on normal life. I don't want you guys to talk about work. I don't want you guys to talk about this quarter's priorities. Absolutely not. I want you to catch up on, is everybody healthy? What are you looking forward to? How are their kids? How is their spouse? Oh, you're doing this house renovation. Tell me about it. Man, we just replaced the floors in my house. It was such a headache. Literally real life stuff, okay? Now, some people may grumble because the reality is when we work from home, a lot of us work in our PJs and we don't like to brush our hair. But again, if you pre-schedule it, it really doesn't have to be that big of a deal. And I'll tell you straight up, for my team, it's like come as you are. So if your hair is a mess, I don't particularly care. Your hair doesn't impact the way you do your work. So there's no judgment on our front. But again, these lunch, coffee breaks, happy hours, whatever you want it to be, is just a new opportunity for some just for fun, chatting, normalcy, to where everybody can just get the chance to talk on a human, totally normal level without bringing work into the mix. All right, so what is next up on my list? This one's a little bit different, but I really dig it. So if you're into this sort of thing, I say you go for it. But I would consider this more of a monthly activity. You don't want to do these too often, but you don't want to do it only like once a year. But one of the really good monthly activities that I've seen is what we call a learning circle. So this would go down for like 30 to 60 minutes. Again, it's up to you. And it would happen via video call. But simply put, each month a team member is nominated to choose a topic for their team to dive into during the quote unquote learning circle. So the topic could be work related, like what are the trends in our industry? How can we work better? What's a skill that I think we should all develop, right? And the nominated team member is responsible for leading like a little workshop for the team where they can do a presentation or maybe have everybody play a game or trivia or a short video. Literally, the floor is theirs. So whoever's month it is has full control over what happens during those 30 to 60 minutes. And at the end of the learning circle, a lot of times I see teams do like an open discussion where everybody can chat about the topic and share their thoughts and their takeaways. And this is a really fun way to, one, give a team member the floor, give them their time to shine, but also it can promote a bit of learning and some good collaboration, right? Now, that's like the more quote unquote formal side of a learning circle where it is somewhat work related, right? On the other side, this is just Tiana speaking here. So I like it when they also are not work related. Fun fact. Again, what I like for team bonding activities is just activities that gets your team talking, activities that gets you guys seeing each other in a new space on a new level. So you can do work related. That is 100% awesome, and it furthers your goals when you do it work related. But on the flip side, if you don't want to do it work related, a really, really fun idea that I have seen is when a group gets together and does like the PowerPoint trainings, right? I don't know if you guys have seen that trend where just like friend groups are doing this, but everybody gets to put together a PowerPoint presentation, and usually it's really comedic and you just share, 10 reasons why I think Hillary Duff should have been the next president. Literally totally outlandish things, right? But a lot of times, again, having a good belly laugh with your team actually brings everybody closer together. If I were to do one, I would probably do something really nerdy with my team around 5 reasons why I would go inside a black hole just because I love space and I love learning about black holes and I'm a total weirdo. And to me, that would be hilarious. So again, think about whether you would want to do a learning circle work related, or if you want to take it down a totally comedic path and let it just be a free for all to see what the heck comes out of your team members' brains. Either one is good. Both of them are sure to help with bonding. All right, so we have talked about weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. Let's dive into a yearly activity. So the first one I'm going to share with you is a classic. It's one that many of us do in our own family circles, and that's a holiday gift exchange. So first of all, who doesn't love a gift? You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it can be done virtually. So the way that you can do this virtually is to include the employees or your team members' shipping addresses when they're drawing names, right? So there are different websites that help this, like Giftster, if you've heard of that one. And then you can have your team members put together a wish list, whether it's on Amazon or some other site. And it really allows for the whole process to be handled online, which is super awesome. Now, my little nerdy self, who is so into the 5 languages of workplace appreciation, aka the 5 love languages. I always like to incorporate a love language test basically with my team. So we like to know what each other's language of appreciation is. That way, if we're buying gifts or doing something like that, again, I may not buy my team member a physical gift if I know my team member loves, quality time. Maybe if I drew their name out of the hat, I would purchase them a Starbucks gift card, but that would come with a virtual coffee date with me and them. So they would grab their Starbucks, I would grab mine, and then we would jump on a Zoom and just like chat for 30 minutes and catch up on each other's lives. Like that would be an ideal gift for them as someone who loves quality time, right? So my little nerdy fun fact, just because I have to, if you know your people's language of appreciation, I highly, highly, highly recommend you incorporate that into any holiday gift exchange. All right, so what else can we do on a yearly basis? I've got a couple other ideas up my hat. I love a good virtual scavenger hunt. Those are very, very fun. Recently, I saw a team do a virtual murder mystery setup. That was incredible. Highly recommend trying that if you want a night full of laughs and something that's just like a little bit more out of the box. And last but not least, for something to do yearly, although honestly, I love it enough to where I kind of want to do it quarterly, but a good old karaoke party. Look, y'all, the best thing about living in this day and age and having a virtual team is that just about anything can really go down via video conference. So we do have a lot of options if we just get creative with it. So there we have it. It's not an exhaustive list by far, but these are some of my favorite virtual team bonding activities that you can do to help keep your team motivated, engaged, and most importantly, getting to know one another on a personal level. So these are activities you can be doing weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, even yearly. And I'm telling you, my friend, it is guaranteed to bring y'all just that much closer together. They are going to appreciate the break from work and just the ability to focus on getting to know one another. So I would love, love, love to hear your own stories of what sorts of fun activities have you come up with to do with your team that has brought y'all closer together, maybe helped y'all share a belly laugh or two. Go ahead and connect with me on Instagram. Let me know. I want to hear all about it. And we will see you on the next episode, my friend.